Rock Paper Shotgun recently published an interview with World's Edge creative director Aoe4 and Relic game director Quinn Duffy. Rather curiously, I haven't seen any of the Age of Empires social media accounts promote this interview, but it's up on the website, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. It's a pretty fascinating read, as it essentially contains more information about the game than was revealed in any of the recent Gamescom presentations. To recap those presentations, there wasn't much in them, just some surface level information about two of the game's civilizations and a documentary about trebuchets. There were a few short clips of in-engine footage, but there still hasn't been any actual gameplay put on display. But this article now discusses, however briefly, cheat codes, the scenario editor, and ranked multiplayer. Let's start with the editor and the cheats. Quinn explains, "We've got our own world-building suite. Our objective is indeed to launch that tool to players, probably just post-launch." And Adam adds, "Cheats are coming post-launch as well." I really don't know how to react to that. Going back even to Age 1, these are two of the game's most important features. So many reviews and preview articles about Aoe1 and Aoe2 DE have a nostalgic anecdote or interview question about the cheats. And the scenario editor is crucial not just for making scenarios, but for experimenting with and learning about the game. With how important it is nowadays for studios to get content creators playing and making content for their games, the editor and modding features are more crucial than ever. We already knew that modding features would not be present on release, but sometimes the term mods is used only for changes to graphics or to unit statistics. Now it looks like custom scenarios also won't be included. Then there's a discussion about multiplayer. Aoe4 will be, as expected, launching with defined seasons for ranked play. It seems like there will be a ranked mode with seasons that are timed around balance changes. The article states that the seasons are as expected, but I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Other games certainly have seasons, but this is the first time I've heard this mentioned for Aoe4. I honestly didn't have any idea what to expect. Anyway, the article goes on to give a rather confusing passage about something called a global queue. As we stray onto the topic of the much-demanded global queue feature for ranked multiplayer, Aoe4 takes a moment to mildly lament the high level of expectation on Aoe4's launch feature set driven by the runaway success of Aoe2's Definitive Edition. It's something that we absolutely want to add, but it's worth remembering it wasn't in Aoe2 at launch, and it wasn't even in Definitive Edition until later, so we're trying. I'm not sure what this global queue is supposed to be. In Aoe1 and Aoe2 DE, the global queue refers to an in-game menu where we can see the units we're trading at the top of the screen. This feature wasn't in the original Aoe2, but it has been in DE since it was released. But this doesn't have anything to do with multiplayer. I think Adam rather is discussing a queue system for ranked multiplayer. I'm not sure how the game is going to have ranked seasons without a ranked queue. Will there just be ranked lobbies without any matchmaking? It's not really clear to me what he's talking about here, and I'd really like to see some clarification about this. I don't think I have particularly high expectations for the launch feature set. I mean, I certainly don't need a Battle Royale mode tacked onto it. As much as Aoe4 should have room to do things that are new, I really just expect the core set of basic features that any game named Age of Empires should have. The words post-launch and roadmap are not terms that anyone should want to hear in a game preview. We saw what happened with Aoe1 DE. Even after being delayed at the last minute, the title shipped without many core features. Matt Pritchard, a software developer who had worked at Ensemble Studios on the original games, wrote on Reddit about how they had a post-launch roadmap, but that roadmap never went anywhere. They spent about a month after release mostly fixing crashes and launch issues, and then the game essentially was abandoned. Eventually some of the missing features were implemented, but that was over a year later, and it seems like the work was done in large part just because it overlapped with Aoe2 DE, and not out of a desire to maintain the game itself. And even right now for Aoe2, there was a ranked deathmatch queue that has been removed from the game, and it is supposed to be replaced with ranked lobbies, but it's been months since that was announced, and those lobbies still haven't been added. We could go on about how this franchise has an existing track record of delaying or of not following through on announced features. Seeing that these features won't be present on launch just leaves me wondering what this fully priced $60 game actually will have. Is it just going to be campaigns, AI skirmishes, and an incomplete multiplayer mode, padded out by some trebuchet documentaries? Anyway, the article also contains a bit where they joke about having catapults throw dead bodies. I wonder if they even realized that this was a cheat code in Age of Empires 1. Enter Jack Be Nimble, and catapults end up launching cows and villagers. When it comes to Age of Empires 4, I'll give the same advice I give for pretty much all games. Don't pre-order. And don't purchase games hoping that developers implement features. Wait for those features to be implemented before even considering whether to buy. That's it for now. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.